Hello to the TUC meeting, 12th of August. So we have today again a meeting focused on cost optimizations. I would suggest to start with that, and afterwards we can proceed with our agenda, go over the action items from last week, review the PRs issues, and talk about any other business. Regarding cost optimization or cost updates, I suggest that we just go over the working groups shortly to say just what happened and whether they see any future improvements, and then we can talk about the shared concourse instance. Maybe starting, Derek, are you available for 1 hour or just until 5 p.m.?
I am available the whole time, though. For what it's worth, there isn't much movement on the implementation of the shared concourse in the last week, but we can get into that as its own topic.
Okay. My voice is, I hear, not so loudly, everyone. Interesting. Let me see. Okay. Then regarding starting with the working group, Johan is just next to me on the Zoom screen. Maybe we can start just with runtime deployment.
Okay, good. Then
I
can't
share.
sharing.
Most probably, yeah, you want to share most probably.
Yes. So the right one. Yeah. So here's the latest billing report for our GCP account. Yeah, well, and as you can see, cost is down from around 6K for compute engine to 4.5K in July. The main driver or behind this is that we run the CF deployment validation pipeline now only once per day. I guess this had the biggest effect in the last weeks. What's now coming is the migration of all stuff from the expensive Europe West region to the more cheaper US East region. So we have moved all our test bubble environments last week or so, and we've also moved our Concourse instance to US East. So we should see an additional effect in August, September. This is for our AWS account. Here we have 2 environments. Here you can also see a slight decrease. So here we were at the beginning of the year around $1,200 per month, and now it's around 1,000. Yeah, but here there's no bigger change. Here we only have the effect of the pipeline running only once per day. Yeah, so and now we are evaluating still some more options like fine-tuning the GCS bucket configuration. There is an the auto class feature that you already mentioned, Beyhan, deleting more stuff that is not needed. Yeah, and that would then be all. Would be all that we can do. So, any questions or more suggestions? Okay.
Amelia, do you want to continue?
Sure.
Thank you.
So I'm at Runtime Platform. I just like to keep showing this cliff to show that we did get lower. this is, the blue line is basically our concourse cost and the purple line is our environments cost. And my goal has been to make sure that we don't have leaky environments anymore. So that has been the big effort here to make sure that I've been catching them because I have been monitoring this like a hawk and then fixing our pipelines in that way. So I think there's probably still some small optimizations about sizings of things we could change, but I wanted to fix the leaks first, and we're only running our environments once a week for each pipeline. So that's about where we're at. I wasn't going to do too much more nickel and diming though. Thank you, Chris. Until we got word from the TOC or from the board about what the goal is. So if there's information on that, I would love to hear it. So let's see, this cost, maybe I'll show you a rolling month. We're going a little bit over 5,000 is where we're at. Any questions? Thank you.
I see Stephan on my next.
Okay, then I take over. I hope you can see my screen. So we have currently a cost of $4.5K per month. That's half of the costs that we had before we started with cost optimization. If we go for the 90 days and wait a bit, then we should see the decrease. Yeah, looks nice. What we have done basically, let me see if I get it. No, too many windows. Yep, basically since the last time we talked about cost saving, we have migrated the concourse into a cheaper region, so from Europe West into US East. And I cleaned up and made an inventory of the GCP resources. So we have now all VMs tagged, and there seem to be no leaking VMs anymore around, which are the biggest or the most expensive resources. I deleted unattached disks. I configured the storage class auto for all the buckets. And then there is a list of resources, mostly buckets, some network IPs, and one custom image, which very likely will be deleted, but I want to talk about that in one of the workgroup meetings, so to not surprise anybody. That's it. Yep, for the future, for CAPI itself, I don't see a lot of potential anymore. We talked about also running the CAPI validation only once per day, but actually it would not pay off so much because currently we run on average 1.5 CAPI validations or pipeline runs per day. And then I would prefer to spend this money and get timely results instead of having this delay in the CI. And where we have still some potential is in the autoscaler area, which, where the movement into a cheaper region was not yet done, but is planned. And also the bubble environments are still used for development. And here there are some ideas to get rid of them and convert them into short-term, short-lived environments as well. But the autoscaler team has already implemented hibernation, so they are started in the morning and stopped in the evening again to save costs. And finally, getting rid of concourse, but that has to wait until the central instance is available and we have gained some experience with it. That's it.
Okay. So then Derek would be on my next.
Yeah, so I was having a hard time finding my dashboard again for ternary. Admittedly, the reason I'm having a hard time finding it is because I haven't logged into it for at least a month because we haven't been doing any kind of changes. We had picked off what were largely the route we could pick off the month before that. So to maybe pull off similar something to Amelia's. we had taken kind of the major parts of our actions between May and June for what we could do with our current running costs, especially as we're going to transition what our current deployment is into something that is a shared deployment coming soon. But yeah, we didn't take any actions that were meaningful over the last month. I did notice that our compute is up a tiny bit day to day right now, so I bet there's a leaked VM or two. I was not quite as hawkish as Amelia on that, but I will find it and it will go away. But that's only a few $100s at most. But yeah, our running cost right now is, I think, from last month. Want to say it was a little over around 5,000 a month. Yep, 5,200, which was 40% drop from what it was in May.
So this setup will be also used for the shared concourse.
Yeah, it'll transition.
License.
Obviously, we'll have to scale that up some meaningful amount. I don't think it'll be quite obviously as absorbing the exact full compute of each concourse instance that's running in everyone else's individual concourses. Otherwise, obviously, that wouldn't be much of a savings, but it will go up from where it is now to accommodate.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mhm. Okay, Georgi, do you want to continue? We don't hear you if you're talking.
No?
No.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we don't have a lot to share, unfortunately. We're a bit don't have too much capacity. We did some initial digging. Let me open the issue. So we managed to save some small amount of dollars per month by deleting unused resources. Managed to break one of our environments though, which we fixed. So we also noticed that we could save some large amounts by buying committed use discounts, but I think that was probably communicated last time. I couldn't join. Maybe Dani shared this information. But then, other than that, our graph is pretty flat because yeah, those savings were sort of minor, and our major consumption is coming from CPU. So I guess the main way to achieve some noticeable savings will be to decrease the frequency of our periodic tests, which we run nightly. But in order to do that, we're sort of waiting for a target because I mean, we could stop them or we can reduce them by 50% or so. It will be compromising quality. So we're waiting for sort of a guideline for what should we go for, and then we can try to go under that line. And I can see that we have some additional recommendations from Beyhan, which unfortunately we haven't had time to look at. So maybe we can try this, but we're a bit overloaded right now, and we're trying to prepare for the CFD. So I would say maybe after the CFD we'll dig more seriously into those, and I hope that by then we'll also have official guidelines and we'll be able to scale down our CPUs by the required amount. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you. I think the next one will be our foundation infrastructure working group. Let me just share. So in the implementation infrastructure working group, we have multiple GCP accounts. That's why. So what we managed is to save around 10% of our costs. So we've been now around 8,000, and before that at 9,000. And end of the month, we implemented an optimization how certain resources are created for the integration test, which will bring another around 20% reduction in the Bosch GSP account. So that means most probably will be in August at 7,000. This is now almost all the optimizations we actually thought about. So most of them are implemented. Only the optimization to move to a cheap GCP region is not yet implemented, so that is still open. But all of the rest so it's implemented that we've been able to save around 20%. So we clean up the unused resources and implemented the 5 point. So the suggestions by the new 2.5, which we got last time. This is the current state. Okay. I think now we can continue with the next point, discussing the current state of the shared concourse instance and how we can proceed with that.
It's a great question. Other than the fact that I need to be able to commit like some pretty meaningful time to ramp it up, which I haven't been able to do recently with the mix of commitments. I don't have an answer for you on how soon that could be. I hope I could start working on something we could onboard the first team to. So to do the milestone perspective over the next 2 to 4 weeks, to actually have someone on. Sorry, that's not start in the next 2 to 4 weeks. It's make that available in the next 2 to 4 weeks. So hopefully we could. I think it's reasonable to set an action item, and we're doing this monthly, right? The cost. I would say that it's reasonable to say that a team has been selected and can put their first pipeline on by the next one of these meetings. Cost meetings. That's the word.
I wanted to discuss it and whether we need to continue with the meetings. Maybe. So we implemented most of the optimization we found out, and now we have, I think, a plan how we want to go. I wanted to put in the question whether we need the meetings, but we can discuss maybe at the end.
Cool. So let's just put a time stamp on it then of 4 weeks from now, rather than tying it to the existence of this meeting.
Yeah, I'm happy to move one of our small pipelines over first. We've got some tiny ones.
So this okay. Yeah, sounds like a plan. So we have the Slack channel, we have per working group issues. I don't know, I think Slack channel is good enough to have the communication there. We don't need any issues, let's say. I mean, during the onboarding, or yeah, what I want to say, most probably we don't need a concrete issue to track this. We will just communicate over the Slack channel or current existing issue. We don't need anything extra. Yeah. Okay. Then regarding the guidelines, we have, so there is no update since last time. I think we have a comprehensive list of suggestions which we actually discussed and implemented in the last months. One option is to put them somewhere, like general guidelines for using the accounts we have for building automation. But I think we can discuss this in the TOC where to put them. Or I don't think we need to discuss in a larger group. The only one suggestion which I've been looking into to have some kind of alerting, it's not optimal in GCP to alert on costs. We can just alert on forecast for the current month, but the alerts will be triggered when you reached the, let's say, certain cost level. You cannot, have fine-grained alerts like if you exceed certain cost per day to get an alert. Only that one is still, I don't have a good idea what to put. If any one of you have a good idea regarding alerting on costs, this could be the one option which is missing in my opinion here on the list.
Is there anything available in any of the Linux Foundation tooling that we have access to? Because I know we have a couple of like cloud cost management things through Linux Foundation, so maybe one of those things has some more fine-grained alerting.
There's the 0.5, but I mean we've just at this point we don't have access to that, but they just gave us some high-level recommendations, which I think we've implemented most of those. So I don't know if there's anything more on that. I did ping Shah again today, following up on GCP getting a separate billing account so we can purchase CUDs. And once we have that set up, which I think is imminent, then we will have access to the billing dashboard in GCP, so we can probably set up more alerts that way.
Yep. There is also an option to set alerts on anomalies, cost anomalies, which GCP can somehow find out for you, but in the docs it looks promising. I couldn't find any way to create something in our GCP account. I don't know whether I'm missing some permissions. That would be something I think also useful if somehow automatically unusual costs are detected. But I think there is still, I wanted to look into that. I didn't have enough time about alerting. Then we will discuss in the TOC where to put the recommendations. I think the list is quite good. Could be extended with alerting, but the rest is, I think, complete. And now coming to the last point, discuss next steps. This was mostly about how we should continue with this cost optimization efforts. Do you see the need to have the meetings to have a meeting regularly? Or we can organize ourselves through the Slack channel because we have now a plan and a feeling how to monitor the cost and what to look in. I think we educated us a little bit what is important, where to look, and implemented a lot of optimizations.
Yeah, and we could go over it when the working group leads give their updates to the TOC too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that
example.
sounds good.
Okay, then I think it looks like we have an agreement, and thank you all for your time and your efforts. I think we managed to cut a lot of the costs. There is still some potential. Let's see how the shared concourse instance works and can save costs. We will continue now with the TOC agenda. If you want, you can stay. Yeah. Otherwise, thank you and take care. Okay, looking into action items from last week. What we had there. Generate, I forgot the link, but I generated RFC number and created issue for the RFC which we accepted. If I'm not mistaken, this was about the storage CRIs. There was some, so this should be done. Now we can jump into the dashboard. Oh. Yes. Last week, okay, we need to wait another week regarding diffusers. So we have some PRs to enable, to disable admin branch protection for admin users. So this is just some repositories which have been missed.
I think there's another PR, so it's a question which one to review now. I linked it, but at the moment GitHub is so slow, or internet here, whatever, I'm not able to. Yeah, exactly.
No.
I see the same.
Yeah, GitHub is having issues, it looks like.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We've all memorized all of the PRs, right? So we can just recite them.
So there are multiple PRs. You mean for the same repository, you have multiple
Yeah,
PRs?
for Jumpbox deployment, you have 1278 and 1282.
Oh, interesting. Four days ago and yesterday. Okay. I don't mind. We can set this one. File close the other one. Does GitHub work for you, Greg?
It's intermittently working.
Yeah, we have 3 approvals. You are okay with this one, right? I can match. This is.
Yeah,
disable.
these are all fine.
Yeah. Okay. Just match.
Fine with this change regardless of how many PRs you make for it.
Yeah, I can open directly the unit repository.
Yeah, it's not just not only not working, but it's also lying.
Wow. We should then asynchronously after that, right? I don't know, tomorrow go over the 2 CPS and just.
I think this means we're all done working because that means all of our backlogs are now complete, correct? Oh, look at this.
Okay, then let's jump to the next agenda topic. So we have some PRs about branch protection. It will be nice if you can go over those. On the RFC side, I've been looking into the RFCs and most of them were still in discussion. I think for the one regarding stack management, Florian started voting there whether we should have a state or time-based state. If you have, yeah, please go over that and vote if you have thoughts on that. Comment. And now, any other business? But they're a little bit confusing. Do we have any other business? No. Okay, then we are done for today. Partially done. Yeah, thank you for your time. Yeah, take care and see you next time. Next 3 weeks I'm on vacation. It will be great if someone else can moderate. We voted and the meetings will happen, so we have quorum to have the meetings, so we can just discuss between the available people who wants to take. Yeah, okay. Then see you in a month and take care. Bye bye.
See you
See you.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Wow.